Max Leonard is the other new appointee to the commission, right? Are you there,
Correct.
Max?
That's who
I'm
was
here,
on
yeah.
the interview with me.
Okay.
Yes, I am here.
Leonard Goodman, I got them mixed up, sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe they look alike, but we can't tell because Max has got no video.
Yeah, Max, show your face.
It's been crashing on this computer. I could go to a different computer, but
That's all right. Is Linda there?
Well,
Uh-oh,
she's up, but she's muted.
it's my phone ringing.
Okay, so I'm using two computers. One of them has a mouse and I'm trying to find unmute with the mouse and it's not working. That's because the computer that I'm actually zooming in on does not have a mouse. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
am
yeah.
here. Yes, hello.
Hi, Linda, how are you?
Welcome back, Bonnie.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back after I got you and Todd twisting my arm for I don't know how long.
It was a little while.
A couple of years, I think.
Yeah, it took a while.
Well, we were shorthanded for so long.
No, everybody quitting. Mark Summers and
Can anyone throw Sarah a text just to see if she's making?
Yeah, I'll send her a text.
the the people who are getting windows are my almost one house away neighbors, just FYI.
Oh, there she is. She's popping on there.
Okay. You're late, Sarah. You're 30 seconds late. No, you're a minute late.
I was trying to pull up the agenda
Ah,
so I could read from it.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Haven't seen you in a while.
Hey, I know.
Well, Sarah, the trick is to have your cell phone on your side with your agenda while you got a big screen going with everything else. But
My screen's really, really big, Don, so I can have it all up here.
no, all right.
where do I find the agenda?
It came in an email
Did it?
from Linda. I'm trying to
Yeah.
think.
Well, actually,
No, it didn't come from.
so it did come from me. So the Zoom link came from me in an email, but the agenda is on the web portal. And so actually I sent an email with a link to the agenda.
Yes, so that was sent out on
Yeah.
Wednesday, February 10.
Right.
If anyone needs me to shoot it to them.
Mhm.
I got it.
I've
And
sent
what
Sarah,
about-
whenever you're ready,
what about-
Sarah.
Okay.
Bill,
Sorry.
do we know if Bill is coming tonight?
I didn't receive any emails from him.
Okay.
But we have a quorum, so we can
Mhm.
get going. So Peter, I think you read first.
Correct, yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this meeting of the Historic District Commission will take place in a webinar format through Zoom. Chair of the commission is Sarah Moriarty. The host of the webinar is the building officials. Staff attending this meeting include Peter Zavinglis and Linda Galetta. Anyone speaking should state their names prior to speaking each time. The panelists in this webinar meeting will be the commission members and the building staff. Panelists who would like to comment on an item should indicate such by using the icon to raise hand at the bottom of the screen. After a panelist raises their hands, they will be able to comment one at a time when called upon by the chairperson. Panelists should mute their microphones until called upon. Panelists calling into the meeting by telephone may raise and lower their hand by pressing *9. To mute or unmute your call, press *6. To make a motion or second a motion, commission members can raise a hand and be acknowledged by the host or chair. To vote on a motion, commission members will be called upon individually by the chair to vote. The public can participate in the meeting during the public communications agenda item. The public will be asked to raise their hand during public communications if they want to speak at this time by using the icon to raise hand at the bottom of the screen. The public will be called upon by the host one at a time and will be able to speak during this time. Attendees must identify themselves before speaking. That
All
is
right.
that.
So I'll call the meeting to order at 7:04 on February 16th. And as Bonnie has been seated as a permanent member, I don't need to promote anybody at this time. So Todd, if you want to read the call.
Bear with me 1 second. There we go.
Dear Matt, please publish the following public notice for one insertion on Monday, February 8th, 2021. Town of Groton Notice of Public Hearing, Historic District Commission. The Historic District Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, February 16th, 2021 at 7 p.m. virtually via the Zoom platform to hear the following applications requesting a certificate of appropriateness. HCC 21-04, 45 Pearl Street, William Getz, owner applicant, replace windows, pin number 2619. 144-21549. HDC 21-05, 54 West Main Street, BAB 26 Realty LLC owner, Greg Fettis applicant, modify certificate of appropriateness number 2302, pin number 261918307945. HCC 21-06, 221 Library Street, Brian McClin, owner, Sunrun applicant, PV solar system, pin number 261917100633. A Zoom meeting link will be posted to the town's website meetings calendar, or can be attended by visiting www.zoom.us, webinar ID 895-1758-7295, password 948893, or by phone 1-312-626-6799. Applications are on file and available for public inspection during normal business hours at the Planning Department, 134 Groton Long Point Road, Groton, Connecticut, dated this 8th day of February 2021 at Groton, Connecticut. Todd Brady, Secretary.
Thank you. All right, so I will call HDC 21-03, 34 New London Road, Catherine and Trad Dart, owners applicant, addition and renovations. I believe I saw them in the audience.
Ted Nelson, yes, we're here with the darts. They're also on.
All right, you can start your presentation.
Okay.
Hi, this is Kathy and Trad Dart. Sorry, I was having trouble unmuting it. Yes, we want to add an addition to our house, and Ted Nelson's our contractor who's on the line with us. So Ted, I don't know if you want to take it over as we scroll through the plans.
Sure. Plans. Okay, that's the street card. It shows where the existing house is right now, and the yellow outlines it. And then
Peter, could you just scroll up for a second so I can just see what the intersecting street is?
Yep.
So Allen Street's down to
On the right. Okay. All right. I got it. Thank you.
No, it-
one house
yeah.
after Allen Street,
Okay.
if you're going towards Groton City.
That's O'Byrne's and your house. Correct?
Thank you. Thank
Correct.
This here is a A2 survey. And let's see. Oh, okay. That's the existing. Can we go back to the A2 survey? I
I'm
don't
just
know.
trying to shrink it down a little bit for you.
Okay. I could have sworn the addition was on that drawing. I don't see it. All I see is the existing house.
Yeah, this was from the survey of this map.
Oh, I thought that.
Is there
Okay.
another page?
I did not do the survey, but I assume that the addition was on the survey because it's going on the back of the house. Well, you can see from this plan here.
Can you scroll up to the plot plan and just use the mouse and show us where it will go?
Yes, right here.
So just over
This is-
like a
this is-
quarter
this
of
is
the back.
garage. This is the garage. This is the breezeway. And this is the main house, which is a cape. And the addition is going on the back, right there.
Okay.
It looks like the addition is on there.
Is it? I can't, it's so small, I can't say. I
Okay.
thought that it was, but
Uh, Existing house.
So it's going on the back where the propane tanks are?
Yes, yes, it's going back here.
So you're gonna
Yeah.
move the propane tank.
Those are all getting moved.
Okay.
So now this will probably make more sense now because you can see the existing garage, the existing mudroom. And the drawing on the left is the basement, it's all going to be built in on a crawl space. We're not going to make the basement any bigger. And then the drawing on the right is showing the floor plan and how we're connecting the existing kitchen, taking out the existing bathroom, making that a connector to the great room, combination dining room. And then if you go down lower, I don't know if I can move it in. No, I have no control on this. I can just only use my pointer to poke. And then off of the great room on the left is going to be an in-home office. In the back is going to be the master bedroom suite with a master bath, walk-in closet. And then if you scroll upwards, backing up to that, no access to it, is going to be a laundry room off of the great room with a full bathroom.
So everything from the kitchen in that bedroom down is the addition.
Correct. Correct. Yep. And this is where the elevations come in. So it's gonna be a Cape style addition in the back with a low pitched roof connecting. That balcony that you see on the left on the west elevation is existing. That's there now. But when you go, you're doing great with that. You know, I can do that too, now that I think about it. Yes, here's the balcony. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I can only control the pointer. I can't control the size or the drawing itself. But from here, this is the back of the back corner right now of the existing house. This balcony is here. This is all new area right here. And your east elevation facing towards Allen Street is this little porch, little entry. The bump out section is part of the office. There's no walk up in the Cape. There's no walk up. We just put windows up there just to lighten it up and give it a little character up there. That's all, instead of just blank siding. That's just your structure.
Is that existing, the a little patio thing? Is that an overhanging deck right now?
Right here.
It's a cantilever deck?
Oh, this
Yeah.
is cantilever. That is correct. There's no posts that come down.
So you're
that can't-
sticking the roof under it?
Yep, we're sneaking it right under there. We're gonna have to disassemble the little deck porch to do it, but yes, it's gonna stay. It's been there. The folks didn't want to get any bigger on that because the addition really wasn't about upstairs. It was about the whole area. So, you know, the back. Oh, I see what this is now. We were asked what products we're using, and we're going to be using paintable fiberglass doors. This is just a clear view, a full view door. So we submitted that. No grills. The folks didn't want grills. And this is your double hung window unit. It's a product made by Harvey, and they have vinyl siding and vinyl windows on the house now. So we were trying to mirror that in the back. And I think this is just talking about the siding colors choices, but we're pretty much staying with the color of the house. We're not changing that. But again, the board wanted to know what products we were using, so I submitted these product samples. Oh, there's our roof shingles. And they've got architectural style roof shingles on the house right now. We're going to be using those on the back. Probably going to do a single ply membrane. I've got to get the with the connector part. I've got to get that over to my roofer, who is what I'm looking for. He is certified by the manufacturer to put down roofing. So. And this is an existing picture of the house right now. It's your traditional cape with a front porch roof.
How old is the house?
Ah, that's a better question for Trad. It's been in the family for a while. Trad, do you know how old the house?
It's 1948.
Okay.
I think there's a couple more pictures just from the front, the different angles from the street.
That's a good photo right there, because you could, from that angle, you will be able to see a little bit of the addition when we're done.
Can you see the addition from Allen Street?
Only when the foliage is down.
So it is visible without the foliage, because the foliage doesn't really count. I mean, we assume it's
Okay.
not there.
Okay. I mean, I would defer actually to the darts about that. Can you guys see your house when you come down Allen Street, or do you have to know exactly where to look?
Well, you'd be looking across other folks' yard. Route 1, where it sits on Route 1, you only see it for a sliver. It's
So, and this view is from Route 1, from New
Yeah, this is
Windsor.
Route 1, but I'm
So to-
specifically asking about Allen Drive, Trad.
Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're basically looking up like Mrs. O'Byrne's driveway if you were trying to catch a glimpse of it.
Gotcha.
She's got awful big trees, so I wouldn't imagine you'd see much of your backyard.
No, the only time you'd see it is literally if you looked up her driveway. You would see it one head on for a second. If you were stopped at the intersection of Route 1 and Allen Street.
Wait, can you go back to that, Peter? Is that showing the addition there?
Looks like it is. Can you zoom in? Thank you, Peter.
Nope, it's not.
No, it's not. No.
Apologize. I really thought that was on our drawing.
That's it for submittal.
Peter, can you go back up to the plot plan, the very first one, please? No, even further, the GIS map. Sorry.
Yes, the addition will be right here.
Oh, so that's the view down O'Byrne's driveway that you say you can catch a glimpse of the
Now,
house.
this
Right?
is Allen Street right here. So I mean,
Right.
you're coming by. Wow. That's gonna be, yeah, this line right here, you wouldn't see it. You'd have to be right parked here and look between their garage and their house really quick and see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter, can you scroll down to not the interior designs, but when it's the as-built?
What are you wondering?
So from here back is as-built. This room is not changing. But this is an existing bathroom that's going to be deleted to gain access. And of course, the kitchen's going to be modified, but the kitchen space isn't changing its size at all.
Can you go down a few more, Peter? There. Thank you. Okay. For the submissions for materials, I only saw siding, roofing, and the door and the windows.
Yeah.
Was there, is it on, it might be on one of these surveys. I just couldn't read it.
What other materials?
Trim, things along those lines.
Oh. I didn't think to submit the trim. We're going to use vinyl outside corner. Traditional vinyl siding, but I can get you those.
But are you basically matching the exterior
That's the-
trim details of the existing house?
Yes.
Including the little porch too?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it says match existing vinyl siding down here to the right. You see that?
I do now. Thank you. Okay.
Match Eve. Well, that's different. That's not really matching it. Match existing Eve style construction.
Okay.
Trim per elevations match existing. So he seems to say he's continuous soffit vent match existing. So he seems to be saying he's going to match what's there.
Are you replacing the existing roof on the main house?
No.
So is that the same roof?
No,
So it'll be a little bit different roof in the new part?
Well, we're going to have to replace above our connection for the warranties, but nothing on the front.
But are you going to match the roof color?
That's the objective. If you go back to the photos down below. There you go. Any one of those. So yeah, that's the color of the roof that's going to be in the back, same as the front.
And those are architectural shingles there.
They are now, yes. Currently they have, that's what they have on the house.
I don't particularly have any problem with the addition. I think it actually looks nice. I guess my only hang up is just the materials, but they're matching what's on the house. So I don't know what else you would do.
Right.
I'm stuck.
I think you're right, Eric. I mean, because it's already vinyl at the whole front of the house, it wouldn't kind of make sense to change materials, especially in this case where you're really not going to see a whole heck of a lot, in my opinion, from either street.
I mean, I think it would be nicer if you redid the whole thing, but I'm not going to say that. But, you know, that's a little ridiculous.
Does anyone have any other questions or comments for the applicant? No?
Hey,
Don?
no,
No? Okay. All right. Unless the applicant has anything else to add. Are you guys all set?
we're all set. Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Thank you. So I will ask the audience, would anybody in the audience like to speak for this application? Would anyone in the audience like to speak against this application? HDC 21-03 is closed. All right, so I'll call next HDC 21-04, 45 Pearl Street. think I saw him in the audience as well. Well, I don't anymore.
So I'm assuming we can sign off, or?
Oh, you can. So if you want to stay on, we'll vote at the end of all of the public hearings.
Oh,
If you don't want to listen to us, then you can jump off and check in with the town hall tomorrow.
okay.
And Ted, Tread, and I will stay on. So if you want to hop off, that'd be great. Thank you for joining.
Oh, you guys are good.
All right. Oh,
And
there
thanks,
you are.
thanks for the commission as volunteers. I'm a volunteer in a lot of organizations, so it hits me in the heart. Thanks for all that you guys do.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Good night.
All right. Mr. Goetz?
Hi,
There you are.
Will Getz at 45 Pearl.
How are you?
Oh, pretty good. How are you?
Good, thank you. So you have the floor. Go ahead.
Okay, so we have 4 pretty large windows in the house, the first floor. Both of them are right along the street. 2 are along Pearl and 2 are along Grove. And they're not original, but they're pretty old, and they rattle and leak, and I think it's be really wise for us to replace them from a heat perspective, but also from a safety perspective. We do let out the first floor apartment, and they're not tempered glass at this point. So am I able to move the cursor here?
I don't know. That's a question for Peter. I think you have to share your screen to control it.
Okay. So Peter, right along Grove Street between the, basically between the 4.3 and the 4.5, in the pictures, you'll see 2 very large double hung windows, basically at the corners of the house. Yeah, you can see it there. So at the corner closest to Pearl, and then the corner farthest away is another double hung. And then there are 2 to the corner of the house facing Pearl, but farthest from Grove, there are 2 more double hung windows. So, proximity to the street, they're very close to the street. And I'd like to work with Geldwen because they make a product that is very easy to work into existing window frames. It's called a sash pack, and essentially it is designed to be retrofitted into the existing opening without a lot of reframing or other interventions. I've worked with the product previously in another house.
So the sash, the double hung sash is basically goes into the existing opening when you remove the windows.
Exactly.
The frame, the basic frame for the window stays in place, so it's a real replacement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And you get some guides, but that's about it. So I think I selected this particular brochure. If you keep scrolling, I think there's a double hung example. Oh, sorry. And I think we just went by the part that talks about the construction of the windows. So a little bit higher. Okay, so it's basically wood core with a vinyl covering over it. They are thermal pane, and they make a nice simulated divided light. So we'll maintain, the 6/6 in the setup of the windows. I think you can keep going. I mean, I think there is another picture here that.
Are there any photos of the windows that are being replaced?
Or any photos of the house?
Yeah, there are. And do you have those, or do you want me to share my screen? I can pull up a couple.
It would have had to been submitted into the packet with Tom. Were they submitted into the packet?
I thought I sent all of that, but
'Cause this is all we have for your
Okay.
submittal on here.
yeah, I think there might have been a little confusion along the way. So give me a second and I will pull up a couple of pictures for you that I can send back to Tom.
I think that you have to continue it for that to be brought in though.
Okay.
I live 2 houses away from them, and the windows are very close to the street. They're not bad, terribly bad looking, but what do you want to know about them?
Here, I could,
No, I don't think I have any problem with you replacing them
You just
either.
want a picture of the house?
We just need pictures of the house. We've kind of held people to
Yeah.
it. So
how do I, can I share? Can you look?
even if you do, people have to.
Oh
submit
yeah, I got it.
time.
I got it. Oh, you gotta let me do it.
So Will, just so you understand, even if we're able to successfully share the screen, because of how we've been running the Zoom meetings, we would have to continue it so that you could submit the photos so that we
Okay.
can put them into the public record.
Yeah, if
That's
you're
fine.
going like for like with the same window, though. I mean,
Yeah, that's the intent. I mean, I think it's a whole lot cheaper to go, basically 2/2, but all the rest of the windows that you'll see at that level are much smaller than that.
Okay.
yeah, I would just continue it and just wait till
Oh,
next.
come on, I want to show the pictures. Is it too difficult? Okay, I'll just send these along. I thought they went along. Hi, Bonnie.
She's
You're
muted.
muted, Bonnie. We'd like to see a picture of the house too, of the various sides of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have them in the folder that all the rest of the materials are in on my machine. So I think they got lost in the sauce.
Okay,
I'll send them to Tom.
that would be great. We appreciate it.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
to be continued then?
Yes, to be
Yes.
continued then.
Okay,
Okay, very good.
There is a deadline to get them in. You could talk to the staff about when you have to get the additional information in to make it for the next meeting.
but it's just sufficient to send an email back to Tom and say, hey, these should have been included in the original packet.
That
Yeah,
would
it
be,
should go pretty quick
Yeah,
next time.
okay,
all right, so I move to continue HDC 21-0445 Pearl Street.
Second,
I'll do a roll call for all in favor. Todd,
Aye.
Sarah, I, Don,
aye.
Bonnie. You're
All
on
right.
mute,
You're
Bonnie.
muted, Bonnie.
Aye,
Thank you.
aye.
Eric,
Aye.
thank you. The motion's carried. The application's continued.
okay.
Sarah, I'm here just in case you didn't see me.
Okay, thank you. All right, HDC 21-05.
Well, maybe he wants to vote. I don't know. You want to vote?
Greg,
I
Oh,
don't think
Bill?
he can't vote.
I thought that was Bill.
thank you, Bill.
Okay.
All right, HDC 21-04 54 West Main Street, Bab 26 Realty. Greg,
Yes, good evening. My name's Greg Fettis with Fettis Engineering. I'm opposite 70 Essex Street in Mystic, Connecticut, representing the owners of 54 West Main. And basically, we're back before you. We were before you for a couple times for the development there of changing the use to a restaurant with a brewery component. And we had presented a venting system for the kitchen, which included a hood and so forth. And now we've changed the look of it. Basically put the equipment on the ground instead of up at the roof line. So the only thing now is a duct going up, which is going to penetrate the roof line, seeing it from Main Street as well as Bank Street. So there is an elevation drawing that was submitted and some photos of the existing. Yeah, there we go. The south elevation and the north elevation show the ductwork going up. Yeah, that's probably the north elevation is the best one. So instead of having the fan up on top, it's basically just the ductwork going up past the roof line, and you can see the equipment's on the ground. So that's the only difference from previous. We are keeping the windows, and basically they'll part of the windows will get covered up, but we're keeping the majority of the window and basically bricking up the inside, but the actual glass and the look of it will stay kind of as you see it there in the elevation.
So one of that's the exhaust and one of them is the fresh air intake.
That's correct.
So
Now, how close are they where the ramp is?
If you flip back, they're on the inside of the ramp. The ramp is if you go back to the plan view, Peter.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so they're tucked in there.
and where was the ductwork going before? Was it inside the building?
Yeah, the ductwork was basically coming out of the window and going straight up. And I don't think we showed a makeup air previously.
Pretty much going right up the middle in between the windows. It's just showing a vertical line going up between the windows.
Yeah, with a fan at the top,
Right.
the exhaust fan at the top.
And so the I'm sorry, Peter, if you go back to that drawing there that you just were showing the photo, it was the photo.
Hang on a second.
No, now we're back in. It was the photograph of the back of the north side of the building that showed those ducts.
Yeah, I gotta shrink it down again with that.
I think it's the other set. of plans.
Other way, yeah. There. Okay, so the duct on the right hand or west edge of the building is that no where you were, Peter?
No, I'm trying to enlarge it.
Sorry. Okay, sorry. Is that, Greg, is that duct the proposed exhaust duct?
Yes.
Is it
If you scroll
behind?
down, just
Is it behind the building or is it outside the
outside
envelope?
the building.
No, I know it's outside, but is it
It's right
behind
on
the
that.
north?
It's right on that corner,
Right. So, but is it inside the corner or is it
Yes.
outside the corner?
inside the corner.
Sorry. So it's not west of the west end of the building. It's
Right.
screened behind the building.
That
It's
little
covering-
wing.
It's covering up the corner blocks so you can see on that are on
Right.
the other side.
All right. All right.
Greg, is that gonna work? I thought you can't drop it.
What do you mean?
I thought you couldn't drop an exhaust run out of a hood for grease. I thought it had to always continuously go up or over and up.
I'm not a hood expert, but that's what the hood folks came up with. We did submit some of their drawings with the application also. Um,
Who did it? Hood Tech?
Hood Tech, yeah.
Yeah, they know what they're doing, so.
Yeah.
Can I ask, what's the reason for the change?
I think they wanted the equipment on the ground, but I think, 2 months or 3 months ago when we were before you, we asked them, hey, this is what we have. And then when it came down to actually, doing the installation or getting ready for the installation, they came up with a better idea, basically. And I think instead of having the fan, the exhaust fan up at the top of the run, it's on the ground. That'll be less obtrusive to the public. Really, the only spot you're going to see it from is if you take a quick glance coming down Bank Street, kind of look between
Your left.
you'd have to really look quickly to see any of this from Bank Street.
Or if you park back there.
All right, but there's limited parking now.
And that parking that you're seeing there in the foreground, Bonnie, is not part of the property. That belongs to the house on
Yeah, I know.
Pearl.
On Pearl Street, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think we should also be overly conscious about it, just considering the fact that there are people looking at that property. So if they're going to incorporate it more into the downtown area, we just want to be more aware than if it was just going to continue to be parking forever.
Yeah.
Just an observation.
Didn't we have an application or a preliminary from someone who was thinking about buying that property?
Yeah, but he
We're gonna
pulled the plug on the purchase.
He did? Okay.
I agree with Eric. However, much of that hood system is going to be blocked by the ramp.
Oh, no, I'm fine with it. I just was saying, we just want to be cognizant that it's not the rear, anymore.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
I'll just defer to people with more technical expertise than me, but is there any safety issue with having all this exhaust stuff next to a ramp that the public uses?
No, I mean, the stuff on SIFT is right on the side at eye level when you walk past it.
Just
There's
noisy.
no way to hide it. There's stuff just stinks. I mean, it's really what it comes down to. But there's nothing you can do. It is what it is. There's no way to repurpose that chimney and use that or anything. I kind of forgot about that.
I don't think so. I think that's still being used as it's still being used.
Yeah.
What, for the boiler?
Yeah. I think they have a steam boiler down there that's still functioning.
Okay. Any other comments or questions for the applicant?
I was not at the first hearing, so I just, is this just for the mechanical? Or are we looking at the windows and the other things they're doing to the exterior as well?
So the previous applications were for any of their other changes. This is just, as my understanding, is just for the mechanical because it's a change from their previous application.
Okay, all right.
Did we ever technically approve the stuff in the front though? Because we recommended the pavers but did we ever actually okay it?
Yes, there was two actual approvals. Eric, I don't think you were there. You were present for the
second one.
I remember the recommendation. We came back.
You changed the ramp and everything in the back. Too.
Changed quite a few things based on the recommendations the first go around, and then there was an approval. Then we came back a second time for the rear door and the ramp.
Yeah, as long as
Change
you're
it to
covered.
wood.
Yeah, if you're covered, that's fine.
Yep.
Any other questions? No? All right. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.
Would anyone in the audience like to speak for this application? Would anyone in the audience like to speak against this application? HDC 21-05 is closed. I'm going to call HDC 21-06, 221 Library Street, Brian McGlynn, owner, Sunrun applicant. Are they here?
Good evening. I'm Lissa Burke, and I'm the operations specialist permit coordinator for Sunrun in the Connecticut market, based in Hartford. I was the one that submitted the application on behalf of Brian's project.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. You can begin your presentation.
I submitted plans and photos of the house. I was asked specifically to submit photos of the house from the street. The solar panels, there you go, thank you. And I submitted a copy of the plan set from our design team. The majority of the panels are due to go on the back of the house. Specifically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 20 panels are due to go on the back and 5 are due to go on the front of the garage. This is a 25 panel installation project, 8.6 kWs with a Delta N-phase, the LG Electronics solar panels. It's, you know, a basic solar panel installation project. The panels are black. As you can see, we're adhering to the fire setbacks per the code by the state of Connecticut on the plans. Page, you just passed the engine, the electrical page. All that electrical equipment will be inside. It will not be visible outside or from the street. These are all the stickers that are required to go with the project for the inspections that will be labeled on the equipment at point of install.
And this is at 221 Library Street. So that is, do we have a
Yeah.
GIS
sure.
here? Or I think we went by it maybe.
It was very beginning, I think.
There, right there. So where, I'm just trying to figure out where exactly this house. Oh, this is this Library
Across
Street.
Allen Street.
Is it west of Allen Street?
Yeah, excuse
Yeah,
me.
it's west of Allen Street. This is
West
map
of Allen
9.
Street. All right, that's why I was, okay.
I'm told this house is literally on the edge of the historic district.
It's all squirrely right in there. It goes all funky.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
They add something here.
Sure.
The historic district ends at the line down the middle of Library Street. It's an artifact from New London Road.
Okay, and this obviously is not a historic house, correct?
It was
No.
built. It was built in 1992,
Yeah.
and it has actually, frankly, it has a skylight on the front.
I had that map somewhere, but like if you go across the street in 4 Allen Street is not in the historic district. It's really weird there, but all the houses around it are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to submit for the building and the electrical permits for this project, and I was told that I had to first do this because of where the house was located and to submit, you know, pictures of the house from the street for your review and approval, hopefully.
So the solar panels on the front of the house, Lisa, are on the left-hand side of the garage.
Correct.
Left side of the gable. So
Yeah.
sort of west-south facing.
Yes, and all the rest of the panels will be on the back of the house.
Okay.
I'm told per the homeowner that he can't see his neighbors or any neighbors in the back. So in terms of a view by someone else.
The back of the house not visible from a public way is what you're saying.
Right, exactly.
All right.
Well, Route 1 is back there, but it's 2 houses deep.
Yeah.
as I said, we're talking 25 LG solar panels, a Delta inverter, and as I said, all the electrical equipment will not be visible and will be inside.
This is Max Leonard. I've driven down this road probably 15 times in the past 6 months. And I don't think you'd even be able to see the solar panels on the front of the house really from the street, or you at least wouldn't notice them driving by.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, Max. I mean, it's this view right here is where you might be able to sort of see the panels. Not that that's a,
Well, when I was on the commission before, unless you guys have changed, I mean, even if they were visible, we were approving them.
you're right, Bonnie.
That's what I was gonna say, is as a general rule, we're encouraged to approve solar panels. So even if they're.
Well, and just the solar panels are black, so they will meld in with the color of the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some of the ones we've said yes to are pretty in your face.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good thing in the long run, so.
Are you putting it on the existing roof?
Yes.
And how old's the roof?
I do not know the answer to that question.
I do. The roof is less than 5 years old.
Thank you.
It was redone 5 years ago. The roof is from 1992, the underpinning. But we had it redone in 5 years ago.
Any other questions or comments for the applicants?
No.
No. Does the applicant have anything that they want to add?
No, just your thanks for hearing our application.
Thank you.
And I say thank you also on behalf of Sunrun and the customer.
You're welcome. Thank you for your presentation. Would anyone in the audience like to speak for this application? Would anyone in the audience like to speak against this application? HGC 21-06 is closed. So we will now open consideration of public hearings. We will start with HGC 21-03, 34 New London Road, Catherine and Trad Dart. This was the addition in the back. Any comments or motions?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Any comments? All right, I'll do roll call. All in favor, Moriarty, aye. Brady,
Aye.
Nault,
Aye.
Levinson,
Aye.
Goodman,
You're muted, Eric.
Goodman.
I am?
Oh,
Oh, no, you're not.
Sorry.
did you, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. Did you say, yeah, okay, thanks. The application is approved. All
Maybe
right.
we should use hand signals. That
Maybe we
actually
should,
works
that
better,
might be
yeah.
more effective. Consideration on HGC 21-05, 54 West Main Street, Bab 26 Realty LLC. This was the application presented by Greg Fettis for the change in the ventilation system, fluid system. Any comments or motions?
Make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Any comments? All right. All in favor, Moriarty, aye. Brady,
Aye.
Nault,
Aye.
Levinson,
Aye.
Goodman. All right, I can read your lips. The application.
Yeah, read your-
I can read his lips.
I'm not going through? It's weird.
No.
Gotta speak up, my man.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, HDC 21-06, 221 Library Street, Brian McGlynn, owner, Sunrun applicant. This was the addition of the solar panels on the roof. Any comments or motions?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
My only comment is that, as we said in the hearing, that we're supposed to strongly, we have to find a reason to not approve solar panels.
We actually have to find that it's inconsistent with the entire fabric of the historic district.
Right. Moriarty, aye. Brady,
Aye.
Nault,
Aye.
Levinson,
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
I heard you. Application is approved. All right.
May I say thank you?
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So this means I'm able to, so I will get an approval somehow, and then I can move forward to file for the building and electrical permit?
Yes. So you'll get
Great.
an approval in the mail. I don't necessarily know the logistics. You can call in the morning and someone will
Okay.
tell you, and then you can file for your permits.
Great. Thank you very much for the information.
You're welcome. Have a good night. All right, pre-application hearings. I see one hand. Peter Hurd.
Hi.
All right,
Ready to
Peter,
go?
go ahead.
May I share my screen?
Peter Spangalis.
Should be able to share it right now.
See it okay?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Peter Hurd, 15 Library Street by way of Manchester. Wanted to have a pre-application discussion regarding windows and possible roofing change. So, you know, you probably all know the house right across the street from the church on the corner of Library and Route 1. There is the GIS plot plan. And then what I thought I'd do is take you through kind of the four sides of the house and show you what we'd like to do. The existing windows are sash pack type windows, as best as I can tell. They're 20, 25 years old, simulated divided lights. And there may be one existing window or, you know, original window right here. But even that one is a little suspect. The house is 150 years old, and this window could be original, but it has some characteristics that maybe make it not original. But we do have some old pictures that say that the original windows are 2/2s. What is there obviously is not, you know, 2/2. There's a sash back. So our goal is to bring this back to the way it used to look, but modernize the, you know, the windows a little bit. So this is the view from Library Street, and you see the bay windows here. They are double hung, inoperable right now, and then they are covered with a storm panel that actually hides the dome top or the arch top of the window, and they are rotted and leak like a sieve. So what we're proposing is to replace all 6 windows in this bay with custom Marvin windows.
I can leave right now.
I'm sorry.
Go. Yeah. No, just take my car. Or do you want?
We would replace all the bay windows, custom Marvin windows, and then the double hung windows, the 6/6, replace all those with these Marvin Elevate windows, and then no change to the attic window up here. Moving around to the east side of the house that faces downtown, this is the existing look right now, and what we're proposing here, actually, the current view is this right here, 2 windows on top, 2 on bottom with a door. What we would like to do is replace all these again, but add a window here and add a window here. This one here would be at the bottom of the main staircase in the house. It would provide a little bit of additional light in the entryway. And then this window here, we just think visually adds some balance to the front of the house. This currently is a bathroom, and we're going to turn it into a closet. Moving around to the south side of the house that faces Route 1, there are 7 windows there. We're looking to replace, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, same size, double hung, 2/2. And then this is that window that we would like to eliminate. I did my best with Photoshop to give you a look at what it would look like without the window there. And again, that would be a closet. That's the reason why we would be suggesting we eliminate that window. Other than that, everything else would look the same.
So, Peter, are the windows 2/2s or 6/6s?
Every window we'll replace would be a 2/2. And no how, the only one that, this one right here is what I was talking about, might be an original window. We're not sure, and it's a 2/2.
Oh, so it's your belief that you are actually putting back into place what was there when the house was built, to the best of your knowledge?
I have photo evidence that there were 2/2s when that house was built, or at least as far back as the picture goes. I think it's late 1800s.
Interesting.
That's probably right, though. I mean,
Yeah.
6/6 came in, and then once they were able to produce glass larger, they switched to 2/2.
Yeah, and again, these are sash packs. These are not original windows. They were.
No, those are like 20-year-old Andersons. It looks like.
Yeah, they're awful. They're
Yeah.
awful. They're awful. Okay, switching around. I'm sorry I don't have a square on picture of the west side. This is that side that has that concrete wall in the, the house number 23 behind us. I was not going to go on their property to take a down picture face on. And besides that, we do have a dumpster there, and it would have hidden a little bit what we're trying to do. So if you bear with me, we took 2 pictures of this. This here is currently a mudroom. And what we would like to do is eliminate, this was an addition to the house at some point, don't know when, could be 50, could be 100 years old, not sure. We're looking to eliminate this window to provide us with a little bit more wall space interior for the mudroom. We're going to turn it into a laundry room kind of place. And then this is the existing double window that is over the sink in the kitchen. And what we're suggesting to do is to just turn that into a triple from a double.
What kind of a window is that, Peter?
So this is actually the top of the line Marvin window. The other ones I'm talking about are the middle grade Elevate windows, but Elevate they don't make a triple in the Elevate. So we're going to go to the Ultimate, which is their top of the line window.
But are the two windows, the two mold together windows there, are they 6/6s or?
No, it's like
They're
4/1.
They're
check rail.
I can't recall. I think they are 6/6s. They're ugly. They're ugly.
But they're double hungs too.
They are double hungs,
Oh, okay.
not original to the house, but double hungs.
Okay.
Yep.
You don't want to just add a triple stud in between and just do them as individual windows and save yourself the money?
Yeah, that's a great idea. The room is so small. We're trying to maximize the wall space for wall cabinets in the kitchen. But
you're going to get those signatures and you're going to wish you bought them all in signature. That's the only problem.
Yeah, well,
trust
me. The number we're talking right now it's mind-boggling. Those bay windows,
yeah,
$3,200 each, and we need 6 of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is a $40,000 project to go up to the top of the line. You're talking 60,000.
I got to tell you though, I have the Elevates in my house. They're great windows.
Yeah.
So you'll be happy with them.
So moving to the other side, this is taken from the Library Street side. A lot of action here, but we're looking to replace these 3 on top, all double hung again. Replace these 2 here. This is the living room kind of area. This will be a bedroom. And then there's a picture window here, single pane. Again, not original to the house, but it was a dining room at one time. We want to turn it into a bedroom, first floor bedroom. And we want to put in 2 awning windows up high on either side of, what would be the bed. So this becomes more wall or siding, and then 2 awning windows right here. And then lastly, there's a window here, a double hung, that used to be a butler's pantry. That is going to be a bathroom. Again, just replace it with a 2/2 double hung. These are all the unit drawings. These are the unit sizes. And, Eric, the Elevates well. So these are all the brochures from the Elevates. Trim, we're looking for flat trim on the top, maybe a little bit of a bump out on the sill. The SDLS grills, beautiful looking windows.
Then that's all you're doing is replacing windows. You said something about the roof. Is it?
Right. So if I'm reading the rules of the road correctly, so what we're talking about here is, this is, you know, obviously the view of the house from Library Street. This is the overhead satellite view. We are going to replace the roof, the main house roof, the front porch roof, and then that mudroom kind of kitchen roof, all with asphalt shingle, Timberline HDs or HDZs in charcoal. So it'll match, actually, I think it's the same roof as the church. So it's going to be a very dark color, not black, but a very dark color. But the question becomes now, there are 3 roofs that have a rubber membrane, all need replacing, all are leaking. This one here is over an outdoor porch. This is that addition that will be part of our bedroom and the kitchen. And then those, the bay windows are also a rubber roof. So again, shingle all here. I don't think that's a problem. We are suggesting we replace this like kind quality rubber, but this is where we would like to request to put in a standing steel seam roof. And this is the view from Library Street. We would raise the angle of this just a little bit, maybe, you know, 6-8 inches to get a little bit of a pitch. This is another view of it. This is the condition of the roof currently and our lovely concrete wall that we got to figure out what we're going to do with it. And so we'd like to, I'm just not big on the rubber roof. Don't like the way it looks, don't like the integrity of it. And what we'd like to do is best I could. I'm really bad at Photoshop, but I kind of added maybe a 6-8 inch angle here. That would be the view that you would see from the street.
How much room do you have between the window and the existing roof line?
We have about 8 inches.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So, you know, we could shorten up these windows, maybe 6 inches. They'll look identical. Though actually, these are going to be 2 bathrooms. So it'll probably be a good idea to shorten those up. And all we want to do is raise this up a little bit to get a little more pitch and seam roof that with a black or a very dark gray steel roof.
Copper would be lovely.
Copper would
I'm
be
just
lovely.
joking. I'm just joking.
Copper would be lovely. It's $8,800 to do just this steel roof, $12,000 to do the rest of it. So, so that's, and so the other questions I have really around the roof is there probably is some rot behind the gutters. And we may need to replace that fascia. I don't know what rules are behind that. It, you know, would look the same. There'd be a suggestion to do it in an AZEC or some kind of material like that. Not sure the conditions of the rake, although right here, there is a kind of a delamination and a separation of that return. And we need to fix that. I don't know how much rot is up there, but that does need to be fixed. It's held together right now by a like chicken wire.
Well, I don't believe we have jurisdiction over gutters anyway. Is that isn't that correct?
I believe that that's correct.
Yeah, gutters and downspouts. And personally, I have no problem with using AZEC or a material like that. And also, I'm a huge fan of standing seam roofs, so I have no problem with that either. And especially in this case, because you say it's a very low pitch. The rubber does look like hell. And the only alternative is you put down a torch down or a roll roof, which doesn't look any better. So.
No, Todd, I'm going to actually agree with you. Where I was very against it was for other reasons, but I think here it's fine.
Yeah.
I think it's better than the rubber, I'll tell you that.
Definitely better.
But I would shorten those windows. I think you're going to have a problem if you.
I think we probably will.
And I think your other window changes are fine. I think you did a good job on the Photoshop. Honestly,
yeah, I think
it'll work.
Yeah, this was an excellent presentation, Peter.
Thank you.
3 steps above what we normally see, quite honestly. I mean, the detail, that it just very nice. Very nice.
I showed it to my wife Beth the other night. And she goes, "Holy mackerel! If they don't approve it."
Peter, just to go over the rules really quickly, because you said I wasn't quite sure about the rules. If you're replacing, like when you were looking at the trim, if you're replacing like for like, you don't come to us for approval. You can just do it. If you do a change in material like the AZAC, then you do have to request approval.
But Sarah, I mean, if he patches in a 4-foot.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, there may be rot along this entire fascia. And so, you know, we would love to do a synthetic material behind that. The gutter would hide it. It would be painted, or it would probably be white anyway. So I don't think you'd see it from the street. I mean, at some point, we've got to make a decision on what we're doing with the rest of the siding, but that's for another conversation.
And the other thing I would do though, Peter, and I don't know the answer to this, is I don't know what the minimum pitch is for a standing seam roof, but I don't think it's much. So I think Eric's point is if you get really tight to the windows, I think he's right. You probably want to shorten them because it could look a little odd if it just sneaks underneath the sill.
Yeah,
But
John Henderson is the roofer, and that was his suggestion as well.
Yeah.
You'll never be able to flash that window, and if we ever do have snow buildup, it's gonna go right in.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then we'll do that.
I would look at Boral though for a good product, because if you do patch in stuff and you do like, you know, 8 or 15 feet of AZAC, it's going to look funny with the rest of the wood.
Yeah, Boral, it's Boral. It's a you know, made from what is coal tar, and it's wholly inert product. Doesn't move as much as AZAC.
When you patch in AZAC with wood, it unless you're going to do the whole thing, it's tough.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
About the same price.
Yeah.
Well, we're in for a penny. We're in for a pound now. I mean.
Yeah, you're totally screwed. So you may as well just spend it.
This house is give a moose a muffin. I mean, it is now gutted completely.
It's a cool house though. I like it.
It's gonna be cool.
I grew up the street from this house, and I think what you've done so far is great. Just even with just the landscaping and clearing everything out, it looks awesome.
Thanks. Well, at some point, I don't know if anybody on this call knows the history of that wall, but I'd love to find out what the original plans were for our side of the wall. Were they going to sheathe it in stone or wood or paint it, or what, what?
Wasn't she building a
Oh, doubtful.
Yeah, no one really knows, Peter.
I thought you wanted to
I
build.
think that it was intended to look ugly by the owner.
Well, when I last came to you, we did take down all the trees and all the fence, and I don't know what rights we'll have. I don't know quite what I'm going to ask to do with that, but at some point we're going to talk to the owner about figuring out what we can do on our side.
Well, you know that the current owners had nothing to do with the concrete walls.
Yes, I do know that.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I read the newspaper accounts of the fire in the house and all the things that probably you guys on this call went through.
Hey, Peter Zavinglis, though, I mean, I'm just curious. Like, they don't have an obligation to finish in like a time frame or anything. I mean, because that thing's been dragging on.
That house came before us when I was on Historic Commission before, and that was over 4 years ago.
You have to have you have to have activity being done within 180 days, and it's very marginal. It just doesn't be anything.
They made a fair amount of progress, as some are surprised, but I did get up on that wall and looked on the other side. You'd think that was like a German outpost, guarding, Normandy Beach. It is rock solid. And over by this sign right here, on this side, it's about a 10-foot drop, and there's a huge round like turret with a ladder in it. It's got to be a drain of some kind, but it is an amazing piece of construction. Ugly, but it's amazing, and it's substantial. And I don't know what the owner's plans are. I mean, I think they, at some point, will probably bulldoze the dirt back and level it up a little bit. But
who approved the concrete wall? Because that's within my lifetime, I think.
Well, I would think it was probably around 1988 to 1991 or two. It's my guess.
It was when I was in high school, I remember, because they left all the fill right in the right in the front yard. And
It's
it was
still
leaking
there.
to all the neighbors. So
Yeah, I would say it was after that because I only moved here in '95, and it was after '95.
After 95, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in my town anyway, you have to put the good side of a wall or a fence to your neighbor. And it's interesting to me that it was just left like that. And I'm not saying that the new owner has to do anything. What I will be asking of the new owner is, what can I do to it?
No, but I'm actually serious. Like, Peter, if that thing was never approved and it's hideous and everyone complains about it, can't you just cite them and make them tear it down as part of their construction project? Unless you want the wall, I don't know.
Well, listen, I'm going to be a good neighbor, and honestly, I think in a really good rainstorm, I'd have a problem without that wall there.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So I think it kind of protects my property a little bit, but at some point, listen, it's a first world problem. We'll look at it all day long, but at some point we may want to.
Well, I don't think it looks any better on their side. You probably do have the good side.
No, I'm just saying, I mean, that thing or that whole project is just constantly being discussed by people and how hideous that wall is. So I don't know. I mean, I drive by it every day. It's just too bad. Veneer it or fix it or tear it down. I don't know.
My first house is just a few houses up from that property, and I just remember when I was living there, there was a huge petition that went around about that wall. And so you're right. I'm just supporting what you're saying, Eric. It's been a long standing, and I moved out of that house in 2002. So
it's just
been going on since.
Here's that little turret right here, but this wall on this side drops down about 10 feet.
It's just too bad though, because it's, everyone coming into town, like that's kind of the first thing they get when they come off of Allen Street. And the other problem is it just gets so overgrown there that if you're walking downtown, well, when we used to walk down to go out somewhere, we don't do that anymore. But they never take care of it, and it just gets dangerous through there because you're half out in the middle of the road, walking through the bushes and stuff. Just my 2 cents.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Well, that's not what we're looking at anyway.
No, and I guess my question is, I need to put in a formal paperwork for the March 2nd meeting. So when does that have to be in? Is that like tomorrow or Thursday?
I think it's Thursday.
Okay, and do you have enough here? Or is there anything else you need other than the application paperwork?
This is 10 times better than we normally see. So if you just send that in, I think it's great. Sarah, I'm sorry.
I was going to say the same thing. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just make sure any materials, if you decide you're going to use or you might use, just list them. That's all. You've got the windows covered, that's for sure.
And I know that's not a guarantee, but the lead time on the window is about 10 or 11 weeks. Do I take the risk and just put in the order like tomorrow?
So I don't know where Peter is, but I just wanted to just say that Tom Zanarini is the liaison for Historic District Commission. He's the lead planner. So
Okay.
Tom Zanarini is the person you need to talk to about, the agenda, the time frame, and all of that stuff.
Okay,
All right.
great. Thank you.
Great.
Appreciate it, everybody.
Thank you.
Did we lose Sarah?
You did lose me, but I'm back.
Oh, okay.
I think we lost Pete. He's in control of the computer. So.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh.
Is Pete still on? Did we lose him?
No.
Yeah, Mike Wheeler's raising his hand. I don't know if he's been.
Well,
at
no,
it
I
for a
was
long
just
time.
going to comment on Pete's application. One thing that was missing was all of the roofing. He's got to add that because it was all windows.
Yeah, and add the trim material he's going to use too, just so it's covered.
Right.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons, I like to direct folks to Tom first, because Tom can really take a look at what they're submitting and say, hey, we need this, this, and this, and, it's just helpful.
I'll just, because we told him his application was fine the way it was, I just feel an obligation. I'll send an email to Pete. Tom, I'm sorry, Zanarita tomorrow.
Okay.
I just need to make a note or I'll forget. Okay. All right. I think Jeff Kerr was raising his hand next.
It's Jeff. I think Mike actually had his hand up before I did. Looks like he's been raised for a while.
Mike's on the agenda under new business.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Linda.
Okay.
All right, Jeff, go ahead.
All right, great. Mind if I share my screen here?
Sure.
All right, can you guys see this okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, good evening, Jeff Kerr. Trying do a pre-application again. Looking to put it in a driveway over at 6 Ashby Street. And you can see here, 6 Ashby is right here on Ashby, and then Noank's behind us, and then Latham is like both Latham and Noank Road are behind us. Of note, it's pretty difficult to see much of anything of, especially this area where we're looking to put the driveway from Noank. So the majority of the street views you're going to see of the house or of this project are going to come actually from Ashby, which is just a one-way street up Noank out of downtown there. Just a closer up view of the plot. All right, and here is just the drop dimensions of the plans where my wife and I are looking at putting in this driveway. So Ashby Street's here. We're looking to have a bit of an opening here. So sorry, starting from the beginning. We've got a retaining wall. It's about 5 feet deep from Ashby. And then we were looking to put basically a concrete wall about 6 to 12 inches around from the street, and then fill with this would be 3,000 PSI concrete, and then fill the inside with a 3/4 inch gravel up to about 3 inches from the top, and then top about 2 inches, 2.5 inches of seashells on the top of the fill from there. And then the concrete wall we were looking to face with a product similar to this, if not this itself, which is basically, here I'll go, let me just go down to this picture here. Basically matches the granite, at least the veneer would match the granite wall that's already in place from there. So as you can see, just kind of looking at our property, we've got it's sloping down downhill. So the purpose of putting these concrete retaining wall in would be basically to mitigate the slope, and our hope is to make it level or maybe slightly pitching down away from the street once it's installed. So kind of from the street view, it would look something like along these lines. And apologize for this probably being nowhere close to where Pete had his presentation at on this the previous presentation there. From a side view, it would look something like this, where we'd have this concrete wall around. So basically the cars, this would be about 27 feet deep. So it's enough to fit 2 cars if needed. And then here is kind of a place to put basically like our garbage cans, because at the moment it's kind of like either choosing between having these up here all the time or having to haul these up from the lower yard all the way up stairs, which during kind of inclement weather and snow and all that stuff can be a little bit challenging. And then we'd also consider putting like some kind of a mailbox situation as well, because let's see here. Basically, we don't have a mailbox up top, so like mailman has to pretty much go down straight to the house which once again, during inclement weather, if we're like out of town and it snows or ice is over or anything, kind of creates a safety hazard.
So you don't have a driveway at the moment, is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, yeah. And we're on a public street, so we got public parking. Definitely
One-way
create.
street.
Yeah, yeah. One-way street, public parking, and then we also have a multifamily across the street with renters that have basically like multiple cars on both levels of the house. Parking definitely is an issue, I would say, year-round. But in addition to that, once the summer hits, obviously wasn't as much of an issue for 2020, but I'd expect it to be more of an issue going forward, since it was definitely challenging during 2019. So that was kind of the best I could do with my limited skills, just to get kind of an idea what it would look like. Obviously, we put the spacing all the way around so that from the street view, it would look at least close to the current granite that we've got on this retaining wall in the front of the house. Just another quick view of what we were thinking. So there's like the granite having the veneer like that to kind of match going around. And then finally, we already have posts down a couple staircases. So what we would like to do is basically put posts similar to this, obviously wood that's in better shape than what you're seeing here, but then put like a cabling system similar to this. So there was a little bit more reinforcement in case for whatever reason, brake gives out or we hit like an ice patch or something like that. So at least there's some kind of guard against, a car coming down into this sloping backyard where there's really like not much hope of getting the car pulled out.
So what's the height roughly, Jeff, at the east end of the driveway, the new driveway over there to the right?
Yes, on the east end, that's about 6 feet high, and then at the west end, it's about 3.5 feet high.
So as the slope drops away, the height gets more.
Yeah, exactly. And overall game plan would basically put like a footing about just below the frost line around the structure, and then use 3,000 PSI concrete above the footing, reinforce with a couple rows of rebar in a couple different places, and then have that structure around. And then once that's done, fill it with gravel and top it with seashells.
So I guess one of the big issues here is, and I understand this is, you're trying to create a driveway one doesn't exist for a lot of reasons, but I guess the thing I'm trying to wrap my arms around is it's less what the granite wrapped concrete enclosure would be. It's more what the guardrail is going to look like aesthetically.
Okay.
I mean, I guess you probably have to create some kind of, a reasonably realistic rendering to see how much it sort of jumps out at you.
Yeah.
And I could say one more thing. You ever drive down the Merritt Parkway?
Yeah.
There are a number of areas in the Merritt Parkway. They've been working on the Merritt Parkway for forever, but there are a number of areas there where they installed a guardrail, which I think was done for aesthetic reasons because it's a historic highway. It uses a lot more wood, and I don't remember if it uses cable or if it actually uses horizontal wood members from post to post. But I don't know. I think that if you could do it that way, I think that might look better than the cables. The problem with the cables is they start to look like your standard old style interstate highway guardrail, most of which are now being removed in favor of the solid steel ones, which is, I guess, okay on a highway, but
right. Yeah. Even worse for.
Yeah. Even worse
the cables. Yeah.
For your house.
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously
Um,
want to have something that's secure if you're going to do this, so you don't go blowing through the fence, right? And plunge down into
Right.
the backyard.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, like realistically, do I see that happening? Like, no, you know, but just kind of like just adding a little bit of a factor of safety.
Well, yeah,
to
you
it.
don't want to risk driving over the edge.
Well, you have
Right.
to have it for anybody walking around there too, because it's more than a couple steps. So
Yeah,
you need it for
Peter,
people walking out, getting out of the car.
I don't know, Peter. I mean, is it counting? Does it count?
Oh, sorry.
Peter's of English. Did you actually need a railing there? Because it's not a deck or a patio.
So when
Greater
I
than
asked,
30 inches, greater than 30 inches in a drop requires it.
Yeah.
Even if it's just huh?
If it's a retaining wall or it's a drop off on a public walkway area or driveway, it requires a guardrail protection.
If you're at grade, yeah.
So it's
I'm
gonna
curious, what would you see
something
from inside the driveway? Would you see on the other side of the concrete wall? Do you see any of that?
sorry, Donald, what do you mean from inside the driveway?
Well, you've got this retaining wall with the granite veneer on the outside. What's on the inside of the wall?
So it's all filled right to the top, Don.
Yeah, it'll be filled with like gravel and then top with seashells up top.
All right, so you wouldn't see the inside at all. Okay.
No.
What would we think of like concrete posts with wood as opposed to the wood with the wire?
Honestly, I was kind of just trying to match it with something that was already being used on the house. So I was like thinking of bolting it something similar to this to the outside. Contractor I've been talking to seemed to think that was pretty doable.
Check now though, because if Peter's saying you need a railing, then you need an actual railing that meets code, not just a couple posts. I think. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's what it seems to sound like.
Yeah, Peter, would that railing be subject to all the, the guidelines in terms of what is it, 3.5 inches or so between every baluster or whatever it is?
4.5, yeah.
4.5.
If it's more than 4 risers, it requires it.
What?
more than 4 risers going up.
No, but he's talking around the parking thing. That's what I'm just surprised about. Is that
See, the retaining, the way it is, Connecticut supplemented the code where they allow one exception on retaining walls, where if you do 2 foot of vegetation of landscaping up against there, horizontal, if you measure off your public walkway area, you measure horizontal 2 foot, and it's all covered up with vegetation, with the landscaping vegetation, then you don't need to put in a guardrail protection. But if you go with a public walkway right up against the side of the retaining wall and it's more than 30 inches of a drop, then it requires that guardrail protection.
But accepting that for a minute, you're talking there about potentially abutting a sidewalk, but what about when you get into the property, around the balance of it? You're still going to need a rail, right?
Depending on, I mean, it's difficult to gauge on this. I mean, what are we talking for a drop off over here?
6
Well, he
feet.
said 6 feet on the east end.
Yeah, it's like 6 feet right here.
And you're going to be going with a full with the shell right up to the edge?
Yeah, I mean, like the wall itself we were thinking probably about 6 inches thick.
Yeah, then you're going to need, plus, you're going to go 6 foot up at the wall. You're going to have to get an engineered setup for that retaining wall. That's going to require a permit also.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's really
here.
Yeah, it's kind of like a chicken or the egg situation, because I'm having a hard time getting a quote or anything really done up until this part of the process is done. If that makes sense to you guys.
So maybe, my suggestion would be is like maybe if you came in for the base, and if you can go for an approval on that, and if it's required for him to put up guardrails, he's gonna have to come back to HCC for the rest of it at that point.
But if he's talking about softening the appearance of the guardrail, regardless of the material, the one thing I guess he could make, if he could make his total square footage of the the driveway somewhat bigger, he could vegetate one or the other sides of it, but in theory, technically, that doesn't matter to the HDC because vegetation is here today and gone tomorrow. But it would soften, it could clearly soften the appearance if he did vegetate it. But then he's got to be that much bigger in
Right.
square footage. Not so much a problem on the east side, but it may be a problem on the north and the south sides in terms of how close you are to the house. I mean, Jeff, how close are you to the house if you build this as
So-
drawn?
Yeah, so we're not looking to touch the sidewalk or staircase. So we got about, I would say, 6 inches to a foot from the edge of the sidewalk here, and then probably about 6 feet or so from the edge of the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the other side? Like, what are you gonna do with their retaining wall?
I mean, that's going to stay in place. They're actually, they just got approved last week or 2 weeks ago with the HTC for a big project they've got going on. So the part of the purpose of me doing this now is because they're already going to have an excavator here, basically putting in a parking area on their side of the retaining wall, reinforcing the retaining wall. So it just kind of made sense for us to try to marry up the projects.
But
together.
your retaining wall is going to be higher than the existing on the north side, your north
Yeah.
side. So you're going to also be faced with trying to integrate your poured concrete wall with the large granite blocks that are there, right? We're looking at.
Right. So once again, like the mitigation for that we were looking at was putting in like this granite veneer around the retaining wall, so it, at least from a distance, I think would match the aesthetic of the wall, you know.
So the large blocks of granite that I can see there on the north side of your property, from the neighbor's side, is the grade right up to the back of those blocks? Are those blocks, granite blocks, hidden on the
You're talking
neighbor's
here?
side? Well, Aaron, all the way down, is that wall that comes down there?
Yeah, like is their property to come over, drop down, and then come up your retaining wall? Or does the whole thing like tie together? That's what I'm not understanding.
Yeah, is their grade the same as the top of those granite blocks there on their side? Or are the blocks exposed from their side? You know what I'm saying? That wall
I
that
see. Yeah, it's even. Yeah,
it's the same condition as we're seeing along the street here on Ashby.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's
all right.
basically, yeah. Sorry, I'm just.
So your wall, if you were to do this, your faced concrete wall would start fresh at grade from their viewpoint, looking south. In other
I
words,
guess this question in another way is, does your driveway run along the property line? Like there's no dip between what your proposed driveway is?
Oh, there's I would say about 2 to 3 feet in between their property line and where this retaining wall would be.
So there's going to be like a little 2-foot walkway between the retaining wall and your retaining wall.
Yeah.
That tree's on their property.
It's actually straddles both properties.
Going to be sort of like what we were just looking at with the library street wall. Little gully, but this will be even narrower.
It's gonna look a little weird.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
I said it's gonna look a little weird.
Yeah, the initial plan when I was looking at this was to remove the tree, but the issue there is like, hey, you know, where does this root system go, right? So like, we could remove it and then put this down, and then 5 years down the road, the foundation underneath starts crumbling because the root system that we can't see starts collapsing on itself.
Yeah, but you start digging out for this thing, you're probably gonna
kill the tree anyway.
kill the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't remove the tree, you'll probably kill it. Because you're gonna have to rip, you have to you rip out any roots that head
The-
south.
The next door neighbor's gonna be putting in something similar?
Yeah, I think they were looking to put in like pavers and kind of,
Maybe
because
you
they're,
should collaborate and do one big thing so it's all level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think at the moment, Bonnie, that the neighbors are doing any kind of a structure. They're just putting the
right.
driveway, but it's just gonna slope down.
Yeah, yeah, to Todd's point, like since there are properties kind of like leveled already that way, it's kind of, yeah, it's not.
It doesn't pose the same issues, I think, as yours does, Jim.
Right, exactly.
I mean, I see what you're trying to do, and I respect it, but I think without a full plan of like what you're going to do for railings and everything else, I think it just might be a little premature to try to go get approval.
I mean, yeah, I think that Eric's right. You almost want to engage at least an architect who can give you a real sort of rendering of what you're going to end up with. I don't know if you can Photoshop something like this or not. I guess you can, but.
And I'm not an engineer, but I just from experience, a 6-inch retaining wall just doesn't seem like it's to retain that much. I feel like you're going to run into some pretty major issues with drainage and everything else, unless someone gives you an engineer or an architect can spec something out. I mean, we have to put tiebacks and all this crap in, and I have a 2-foot retaining wall.
Yeah.
You don't want to build it and then have it collapse.
No.
Just go into a slow lean.
I guess from the historic district, like from the HDC standpoint, what do you guys need to kind of move forward? Because I guess like where I'm getting a little bit frustrated is the guy I'm working with that has done a lot of has helped a lot with my house and done a great job, and that I trust, is kind of having a hard time getting quotes moving forward with anything until this step of the process is approved. So from the perspective of looking at it from like, hey, from the historic commission, from HDC's standpoint, what are you guys like? I guess are the big ticket items for you guys the wall and then the railing?
It's from our standpoint, how you build the structure or whatever is really not within, our jurisdiction, but we have to see what it's going to look like.
Well, I think that to Todd's point, the problem is that without that plan, you come to us and you say it's going to be a 6-inch thick wall and you're going to veneer it, and then an engineer comes back to you and says, no, it's going to be a 3-foot thick wall with barbed wire on top of it. It doesn't matter what you did. Does that make sense? So without that, I mean, in concept, I think adding some parking, sure, great, but it's tough at this point without knowing like really what it's going to be, how it's really going to be built, plus what are you going to do for a whole railing? Because that whole thing with having to have it railed in that's an eye opener to me, but it's going to make whatever you're trying to do much different than what you're coming to with us right now.
I'd want to know what's happening in that little 2-man gully where it's going to be impossible to mow and.
Yeah, and that's got to get solved. Right now, I would say no. I mean, personally, I would vote no, just based upon that. I mean, that just doesn't seem to work.
Yeah, in other words, you may be better off if you can build this on the property line. That may be a better move than to leave a gap.
Okay.
Because that could look odd. But I also think that, if you have enough, if you design it engineering wise with enough posts, for all practical purposes, I mean, he could put up hog wire and comply with some of the code requirements in terms of separation between the members, as long as it was the kind of thing where if you're going to drive off it, you're going to hit X number of posts and they're going to stop you. The posts will stop.
I don't even know if it's stopping the car. I think it's stopping the person is what it sounds like.
Yeah, that would be my guess as well.
Well, both probably, Eric. I mean, if your brakes do fail or you hit the accelerator, well, if you hit the accelerator instead of the brakes, you'll probably blow through the wall anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it seems too, you might want, some kind of drainage system underneath this, just to carry the water away below
Yeah,
grade.
Jeff, I think Don's point's well, and what Todd was saying too. I would just be concerned about getting something quoted because you need more than I think you've got here to even get a quote. Just don't end up down the road where you get something quoted and it's not doable, or you find yourself 3/4 of the way into it and the whole thing collapses.
Yeah. Yeah, point taken. So, all right. So going forward, because I know I was here a couple weeks ago, and so what do I need? What do you guys recommend I do? Because I would at least try to move the ball forward.
I'd go to a civil engineer to design, to tell you what you need structurally and whatever to build what you want to build.
The guy right at the bottom of Ashby and High could help you. I forget the name of their company, the landscape architects down there.
Oh yeah, Ken Frost, is that who's down there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kent and Frost. Maybe, I don't know if they have somebody licensed in civil in there.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll take a look into it.
I think without that, I think it's going to be tough it's sounding like it's going to be tough to get anything approved.
Okay. All right. Well, appreciate you guys' time.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks.
All right. Sorry, I lost when I lost my connection, I lost my agenda. So thank you. Public communications. I don't think we have any.
Wasn't there another gentleman who was waiting to say something that was,
He's
that's new
under-
business. He's new
under
business.
new business.
All right, sorry. Okay.
So approval of minutes from February 2nd, 2021. I move to approve.
Second,
All in favor, Brady,
Aye.
Moriarty, aye, Levinson,
aye.
Goodman,
Aye.
Nault.
Can
Yeah,
I-
yes, you can vote.
Okay,
The minutes are approved. Old business. I don't believe there is any old business. In new business, we will get to Mr. Mike Wheeler, who has been very patient, HTC 20-17, 340 Packer Road.
I haven't been that patient, I promise. Hey everyone, long time no see. So I moved into 340 Packer Road. My wife bought it and she let me live there. So I'm here now. So for those of you who don't know, I had spent like 4 or 5 years fixing it up, adding on to it and all that stuff. So I'm a little confused, to be quite honest with you, because I was under the impression from talking to Tom that I was getting things approved tonight. Not sure if that's the case. I asked him if he had everything he needed from me. He told me yes. So all I'm doing, you guys approved my garage, and on the bottom half, I was going to do board and batten made out of pine. But the price of wood has just gone skyrocketed since you guys approved it. So I was simply looking to change the material. I submitted a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know if you guys have it. Linda, I don't know if you can help out with that at all.
So what's the material?
Give me
you're
a tip the
changing?
packet and see what Tom put in there for you.
What are you changing it to?
Yeah, so I am just simply, I was doing board and batten on the bottom. I'm just looking to go with the LP Smart Side. It's like the strand board. It's essentially what a lot of outbuildings and barns are built with. And I'm just looking to do that on the bottom as opposed to the board and batten.
Can you scroll up a little, Peter, to that email?
If you keep going, Pete, you'll see some pictures.
That's just a poor example of, that's just the product. It's just a strand board. It's what you see on, all the a lot of the outbuildings in and around town. This is just my current garage. So we're just talking about, the only thing you can really see from the front from the street is the front of the garage. You can see the right side a little bit, but I'm just talking about the bottom half of the garage anyway. You guys approved hardy board for the top triangle. I'm not changing that. There were other pictures that I sent Tom and that were in the other email, so I'm not sure. That's just what the bottom half would look like. Not the top half, obviously, because mine's framed out differently. So, yeah, and that's just an example of, these are just examples of what the bottom half could potentially look like. And that color is the color we're probably going with right there, that maroon barn color.
Peter, can you scroll back up to the email correspondence?
So I'm not sure what date this is from, but my most recent contact with him was probably a week ago or so. He was just asking me to format the pictures differently.
Peter, can you go up a little bit?
Is that really in the historic district out there?
Oh, it sure is.
Wow.
I'm open to taking it out, though.
I'm surprised.
In all honesty, the house was built in it's pretty old. The house was built in 1817.
I know, but I didn't think
So there's like 3 or 4 houses over in the Burnett's Corner.
huh.
My house is the last one in the district. The house directly next to me was built in the 50s. Just the way it is.
Peter, can you go back up a little bit? So, no, down. So, Linda, was Tom thinking that this would go on new business? Because I'm just using his words in the email, it was an unsubstantial change. So it could just come in where it modified a previously existing application?
So, yeah,
Yeah, this would be similar. This would be similar to kind of what Eric did with his
Right.
project over there. He's changing material,
Okay.
make an alteration to an approved.
I mean, it
So-
doesn't.
so not necessarily rising to the level of a public hearing.
Right.
And I can't remember if you folks made a motion for what Eric had presented or if it was just a consensus. That I don't remember.
So I think this is, a little similar to what we did on Gravel Street as well, where it was just a minor change in material where they just wanted to submit it and have the application updated. Am I remembering all this correctly?
Which Gravel Street was that?
It was on Mercer's project, Sully up Hamid.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Right.
So Mike, just so I can, because I was trying to read the emails, I apologize, I wasn't paying too much attention. You're just changing the lower part from one material to what's the new material?
So it was going to be 1x10 pine boards with board metal, and I'm just going to it's called like LP Smart Side Strand Board.
Okay.
It's just like an exterior siding that a lot of
Is
barns.
this even visible from the road?
Yes, the
Barely.
front of it is, yeah. That's about it, though. I mean, nothing else really is. The vast majority is not.
Eric, can I just make a motion to make the change or something?
Yeah, I think that we just need to take a consensus as a whole, if this is an unsubstantial change and that we can move to amend the application.
So moved.
Yeah, I agree. Second.
Okay, so I'll do a roll call, and what we're moving on is that this is an a non-substantial change, and we will just add this to amend his existing application. Brady,
Aye.
Moriarty. Aye, sorry. Levinson,
Maybe you want to ask her again, Sarah.
right, sorry. Levinson,
Well, and what, we would just put this 2 emails into the record?
yeah, we would put everything that he sent into the record.
Aye.
Goodman,
Aye.
no.
Aye.
Okay, the application's amended and the submittal's put into the record.
All right,
Sorry
thanks.
for making you wait, Mike.
No, it was a good 2 hours.
And
We had a lot of
productive
fun.
and very productive at the end, Mike.
Yeah, exactly. All
All
right,
right,
thanks.
thank
everyone.
you. All right, so I think really the only other new business is we have 2 additional commission members that are joining us tonight. We have Bonnie Nault, who is a permanent member, and we have Max here, who's also been added. So we have a nice full commission that we haven't had in a really long time. So thank you all.
Max, did you ever get your video fixed?
Yeah, I mean, with the computer I'm using right now, it makes my Zoom crash, but I'll work on that for next time. I didn't realize everybody was all smiling on these meetings, but I'll be there next time.
All right, thanks, Max. All right, so I think unless anyone has anything else to add, we can adjourn for the evening.
I have to say, I think this is the longest historic commission I've ever been on.
Well, we've had a couple like this.
A couple long ones lately.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to be back.
Nice to have you, Bonnie. Thank you.
And nice to have you too, Max.
Yes.
Good to
Thank
see
you
you
very
again,
much.
Max.
Hey,
Thanks,
Bill.
everyone. Have a
How
good
are
night.
you?
All right. See you guys later.
Yeah.
All right.
Good night.
Thanks.